Hi Alexander, this is Kirk from 58 Kirk, and this is my entry into your contest for creating your own Space Marine chapter. Basically, I've based my figures and my chapter off of the U.S. Cavalry, U.S. Dragoons of the early 18 to mid 1800s. So that's with the dark blue upper and the light blue lower. Again, I just used a typical tactical marine for this figure. The background for my chapter is probably the hardest part of this whole contest, because I'm fairly new to the Warhammer universe. So trying to figure out what's going to be going on with the fluff was a bit daunting, and so I may have made a few mistakes, and if I have, I do apologize. The chapter is called the Emperor's Dragoons. They are a successor chapter of the Crimson Fists, and thus their Primarch will be Rogol Dorn. As far as their founding, there's no real records of when they were founded, but basically the Crimson's Fists chapter master saw that there was some wisdom and advantages to how the White Scars fought their battles, and decided to create a similar force. The Dragoons do consider the Emperor a demigod and are extremely loyal to him, the Imperium, and to their chapter and their founding chapter, the Crimson Fists. The codex for the chapter is loosely based on the White Scars, meaning that they move fast, hit hard, and disappear. The mission of the Dragoons is to guard the very edge of the Imperium space, mostly the southern sector. They garrison small planets and moons, and just outside Imperium space, and from these garrisons they conduct raids and gather intel. It has been especially important since the Battle of Rin's World, with the Crimson Fists and their rebuilding. The Dragoons, they specialize in fast attack assaults, and they relish it to be in close combat. They also have some of the best trench warfare troops in the sector. Like the White Scars, the Dragoons prefer to use the attack bike to move on the battlefield, and they are some of the best at this, only outdone by the White Scars. They constantly train on the art of bike warfare. In fact, all the troopers of the Dragoons are required to be proficient on the bike at all times. Field modifications to the bikes are common, as with the Dragoon Pattern Heavy Assault Bike Mark II. The Dragoons do have other transportation, mostly rhinos and razorbacks, with a few long-range vehicles such as the Whirlwind are also in their inventory. To augment their fast attack, they have land speeders and land speeder storms, and recently there's been sightings of some storm talons, but these haven't been confirmed. The body armor is dark blue upper, torso with light blue lower, with a yellow stripe down the outside of the leg from hip to toe. The helmet is a dark blue with a yellow crest and face. The yellow trim can also be seen on the collar, but this seems to be a personal choice of the trooper and not regulation. The Aquila is either gold or silver, and yellow is seen, but that's rare. Tactical markings are by the codex. Squad markings are not usually seen, but would be on the left knee. Company markings are by codex. The chapter symbol is a large red and white skull, divided diagonally with red over white. War gear is basically by codex, although there are some rumors of the field modification tests being run by the chapter's master armorer, but these rumors cannot be verified at this time. Upon being chosen from either of the scout companies, the troopers retain their close combat blade, and this can be seen at times hanging from the hip of the trooper. Coloring on the war gear can range from black, red, and yellow. For the home world, the Dragoons is Asdel. It's a backwater world outside of the Imperium space at the time it was discovered. Asdel is the largest of 4 inhabitable planets in its system, and the only one that had humans. Since anyone can remember, the planet has been in a state of war, first between themselves and then with the orcs. No one is sure why the orcs showed up, but it is said that one faction, in a bid to win the planet, allied with the an orc warband. Of course, the orcs eliminated their allies in an attempt to gain total control, and since then there has been never-ending war on Asdel. Neither side could win outright, so a planet-sized no-man land or border was made. Neither side wanted to turn the whole planet into a war zone, as it was rich in minerals and agriculture. A stalemate existed, trenches and forts were built, border skirmishes were common, and war every generation or so. Once the Crimson Fists discovered Asdel, this had been going on for thousands of years, and of course the orcs were wiped out and the war ended. Today, 3 of the 4 planets are completely settled and in human control, and the 4th planet is used as a training planet. The Dragoons' closest allies are Crimson Fists and the Imperial Fists, and their arch enemies are the orcs. As stated, the Codex for the Dragoons is loosely based on the organization of the White Scars. A typical company would compose of 4 tactical squads, 3 assault squads, 3 bike squads, and 2 heavy assault bike squads. Only 2 companies, the 1st and the 8th, are wholly by Codex Austrates. The chapter also has an additional scout company, and the chapter battle cry is Blood and Steel. Not much is known of the battles fought by the Dragoons, and much of it is outside of the Imperium control. They have accompanied the Crimson Fist and the Imperial Fist, and were used mostly for flank security and to secure control of supply lines and other objectives. They patrol the outreaches of the Imperium to this day. So I hope this meets all the criteria for your contest. It's been a lot of fun coming up with the fluff. Like I said, that was probably the hardest part, and I'm really pleased with the outcome of the figures. I think they're pretty striking. So thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.